sanitizing, vaccinating, and keeping social distancing. What are the precautionary steps we are following for our academic learning? It's believed each academician has an average of 2 devices. Be safe before touching any gadgets. I repeat, be safe before touching any gadgets. That's what our orientation program is all about. Session will be for 1 hour, followed by question answer session. It will be a more interactive session. Let's begin our program with the invocation song. I now invite Ms. Sumedha, 3rd BCA LLB C section, to start with Tamil Thai Varthu. Over to you, Sumedha.
You all have to stand up or
no need, ma'am.
சீராரும் வதனமென திகழ்பரத கண்டமிதில் தெக்கனமும் அதிசிறந்த திராவிடனல் திருநாடும் தக்க சிறு பிறை முதலும் தரிதனரும் திலகமுமே அத்திலக வாசனை போல் அனைத்துலகும் இன்பமுற எத்திசையும் புகழ் மணக்க இருந்த பெரும் தமிழனங்கே தமிழனங்கே சீரிழமை திரும்பியது செயல் மறந்து வாழ்த்ததுமே 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 ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरु साक्षात् परब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः.
Thank you, Sumedha. Small cheer and great welcome makes the event more appropriate. It's my pleasure to welcome Dr. Kumudaratna, Director in Charge, Postgraduate Course, School of Excellence in Law, the Tamil Nadu Dr. Ambedkar Law University, to deliver the welcome address. Over to you, madam.
Thank you, Deepa. It is a privilege bestowed upon me by the Department of Interdisciplinary Studies to deliver the welcome address. Thank you, the department. On behalf of the head of the Department of Interdisciplinary Studies, Dr. S.K. Ramani, and Dr. K.S. Sarvani, Professor of the department, and members of the department, Captain Jaishankar, Mr. Kannan P., Dr. Velmurugan, Dr. Vidya, Dr. Sendil Kumar, and on behalf of the assistant professors, contract basis of the department, Dr. Pedunachia, Dr. Vishwanathan, Dr. Chinnu, Dr. Martha Vijayan, Dr. Mr. Rahul Raghu, Dr. Vadivel Raja, Dr. Nirmal Kumar, Dr. Pushpam, Dr. Varlakshmi, Dr. Martina, and Dr. Thirma, and also the guest faculty of this department, numbering 13. I'm not mentioning the name because of paucity of time. On behalf of all the members and the head and professor of this department, I welcome each and everyone in the audience. A wonderful morning to each and every one of us, and also those who will be joining in due course of time. And here, if you see, first of all, I would like to gratefully welcome the speaker of today, Dr. Lokesh S. Ramamoorthi. Thank you, sir, for making the time to, enlighten us about cyber hygiene, which is in day-to-day life, how to safeguard ourselves. This I deem to be a very important topic, not only for us, but irrespective of the illiteracy level, even people who are not literates or anything, this topic is of much importance now, because anybody who's got a smartphone, including our helpers and all that, if they take an operator, any even rupees 129 pack for a month, as less as that also, getting the 4G or LTE and all that, and automatically they start browsing. So I believe this topic is of much importance for each and every one of us. Thank you for choosing this topic and enlightening us today. A very warm welcome to you. And my welcome to the various dignitaries who are present here. I would like to name some of them. Dr. Praveen, who is the Dean of the Bharat Institute of Higher Education. Welcome, sir. Dr. Arya Menon, Tamil Nadu State Secretary, NHRBI. Welcome. Dr. Dilshat Madam, Dean, School of Law, Satyabama. A very cheerful welcome to Mr. Chelaya, Civil Judge. I'm happy to say that he's an alumnus of the LLM Business Law Department of this institution, and it's nice meeting him here. Welcome, Chelaya. Mr. Siva Ilamurugu, he's the Judge Advocate of the Indian Air Force. A warm welcome to you, sir. Dr. Jayagauri, syndicate member of this institution and also principal of the Madurai Government Law College. A hearty welcome to you, ma'am. And also welcome to the various heads of the departments, educational departments, and also advocates and justices who are present here. I'm unable to identify because it's a virtual meeting. And excuse me for not mentioning the name and the designation. A very warm, sincere welcome to each and every one of you. My hearty welcome to Professor Dr. Balaji, the registrar of this institution, and also who doubles up as director of undergraduate courses. A warm welcome to Controller of Examinations, Srinivasan R. A friendly welcome to Harita Devi, Dr. Harita Devi, Director of Research, Publications and Academic Affairs. I say a friendly welcome because she's a member also of our Department of Business Law. Respectful welcome to Dr. Ashok Kumar. He's heading the library wing of this institution, and it is a premier institution library division of the state of Tamil Nadu itself. It's one of the best libraries in Tamil Nadu. Welcome to you, sir. Welcome to all the heads, 10 departments we have in this institution. Welcome to all the heads of the 10 departments, and also a very warm, delightful welcome to each and every one of the teaching members of the School of Excellence in Law, and also the teaching faculty of various educational institutions from throughout India. A warm welcome to you all. And with all my heart, as usual, a very enthusiastic welcome to the student community comprising of the undergraduate courses and the postgraduate courses of School of Excellence in Law, affiliated law colleges, and also other institutions in India and abroad also, I believe, because Dr. Lokesh might have invited many of the student communities also from his institution. So welcome to the Global Student Fraternity. And I believe that you all know already about cyber safety and all that, but today technical aspects also we will be learning. And I hope we have a good brainstorming session after the presentation is over. Thanks to the student fraternity and the faculty also. A gracious welcome to one and all in the audience now, those who are logging in, and also those who will be joining in due course of time. Thank you. Deepa, on to you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am, for the much delightful welcome address with a universal smile. Thank you very much. It's time now to introduce our chief guest of today's session. I feel proud to welcome Dr. K.S. Sharvani, Professor, Department of Interdisciplinary Studies, to deliver the felicitating address. Please, ma'am.
Unmute your mic.
Ma'am, kindly unmute your mic, ma'am.
Am I audible now?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Sorry for the disturbance. Okay. Thank you, Kumuda, for your kind words of welcome. And today's chief guest and speaker is an academician par excellence. Let me tell a few of his achievements. He is a recipient of Academic Excellence Award in 2015 from the Miami Herbert Business School. And in 2020, he received the Teaching and Learning Innovation in STEM Education Award from College of Engineering, University of Miami. Presently serving as a faculty in the Department of Electrical and Computer Engineering in University of Miami, Florida, USA. Mr. Lokesh Ramamoorthi received his MBA in Computer Information Systems and Management Science, graduating from the University of Miami School of Business. Prior to that, Lokesh earned his master's in science degree in software engineering from Coimbatore Institute of Technology, India. I think Bhartiyar University. I think our HOD is also from the Bhartiyar University. There is some connect there. He has 17 years of experience in technology, software designing and development as a project manager, and technical operations management system. He also worked with the University of Miami, information security officer, where his job profile was to do IT asset security risk assessments and to provide guidance on information security assurance and compliance. Mr. Lokesh also holds the following certificates: Project Management Professional, PMP, Certified Information System Auditor, CISA, Payment Card Industry Professional, PCIP, and Six Sigma Green Belt. Mr. Lokesh research interests include cybersecurity, designing secure software, software engineering, software architecture, healthcare technologies 4.0, and human-computer interaction, probably AI. So this is a field where almost all of us are depending on. So very warm welcome to a person who was excellent in this field. Welcome, Mr. Lokesh Ramamoorthi. Thank you. Thank you, Deepa.
Thank you, ma'am, for felicitation address. Your support and blessings to the interdisciplinary department makes us work more on organizing such programs. Thank you, ma'am. It's time to inaugurate our orientation program. Due to some important work, our registered Dr. Balaji sir couldn't join. With much privilege, I take this opportunity in welcoming Dr. R. Aritha Devi, Director in Charge, Research, Publications and Academic Affairs, School of Excellence in Law, the Tamil Nadu Dr. Ambedkar Law University, to deliver the inaugural address. Over to you, madam.
Yeah. Good morning to one and all present here. Hope I am audible. Okay. I deem it a privilege to be here and really honored because it's a surprise for me and a great responsibility on me, because inaugurating or delivering the inaugural address for a webinar, that too with great personalities like Lokesh sir, and instead of registrar, is a big responsibility, right? But anyway, respected chief guests, Dr. Lokesh sir and Dr. Sarvani ma'am, Dr. Ramani ma'am, Dr. Kumuda ma'am, and all the dignitaries who are present here. It's my humble opinions that I would like to deliver here as the inaugural address for this webinar with a very good topic and the need of the cyber hygiene. Stay home, stay safe is the quotation or quote which we hear every day today. But staying home has made us use these gadgets almost every minute or every second. Everybody is having a gadget in the hands. And today we are living in a world where a newborn infant, I would say, law treats months-old children as infants. But unfortunately, in the hands of infants also, now gadgets are placed. Many times, parents, in order to manage their children, give the gadgets to children. And what to do? Now they are, even with small children, are with gadgets. And these gadgets have almost occupied their lives, I would say. So cyber hygiene is something when we compare it with personal hygiene, we can compare. Much like an individual does everything to take care of the personal hygiene to maintain good health, cyber hygiene practices can keep data safe and well protected. In turn, this cyber hygiene will maintain properly and function the devices which we are using in a very efficient way. In my small capacity or in my small knowledge which I have about cyber hygiene, these practices are often important, or I would say very, very important to maintain our devices. And in fact, these are part of our routine to ensure the safety and identity and other details that could be stolen or corrupted. Having a routine cyber hygiene procedure in place for our computers and software is beneficial for two reasons. One is maintaining our equipments, gadgets. So we have to take care of our software, hardware, etc., etc. I'm not going into the details because we have an expert. But main thing which we have to keep, or why should there be cyber hygiene? If we ask a question, the answer is security, right? So when it comes to security, that is the most important reason to incorporate cyber hygiene routine. Hackers, identity thieves, advanced viruses, and intelligent malware are all part of hostile threat landscape. While predicting threats can be challenging, preparing and preventing them becomes feasible with sound cyber hygiene practices. In my own personal experience, if I would like to tell, some 1 year before, I think, my parents, in fact, my father's account, from his account, he lost some money only because they did not know what is cyber theft or how money will go from the account. They means my parents, both of them. In fact, my father, when somebody calls him, since he cannot hear properly, he gives the phone to my mother. So my mother only attended the call and she told password, account number, everything continuously to somebody. And after telling everything, they reported to me saying, they called from bank, they asked for something, we said. I said, immediately I realized that that account number, you have told everything, so automatically your money would have gone, I said. They said, no, they called from the bank only. They were very sure. And for your information, my parents are not illiterate. They are actually educated. My mother was a graduate, or she's a graduate, she's no more. And my father, he's also a very good, he worked in a very important office and he's a public servant. So he knew everything. But unfortunately, they lost account. So this is not about illiteracy. That day I realized that it is not about literacy or illiteracy, but it is about the information. So for loss of data or misplaced data, for security breach, for everything, we need cyber hygiene practices. Many people who are, we know everything, like we have Kumda ma'am here. She knows everything about all this. She's a gadget person. So maybe persons like her, they would change password very often. They would update their software. They would update their hardware. Everything they would do. These are all some of the methods which we can keep our cyber hygiene. But in my humble opinion, in this inaugural address, I would like to tell everyone present here, I think it is about individual awareness about what is happening around us. Above all, this awareness only will promote cyber hygiene practices and how people can keep their data safe and their personal information safe. That's what I feel. So steps must be taken to inform everybody, the common man, that the personal phone which you are, smartphone which you are having in your hand will create problems to you. So that has to be informed to the common man. That is what I feel. And in that regard, this types of webinars will take informations further. So I congratulate the interdisciplinary department for choosing such a wonderful topic. And I thank this excellent opportunity for me to meet you all on this fine morning. Happy morning to one and all. Stay home, stay safe, and let us hear our chief guest today. Thank you.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Ever charming and dedicated. You have always been a support for the academic activities in School of Excellence, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am, for the special inaugural address. Moving on to the much awaited part of our program, it's time to invite our chief guest of the day, Mr. Lokesh Ramamoorthi, lecturer in software engineering and cybersecurity, Department of Electrical and Computer Engineering, College of Engineering, University of Miami, Florida. It does not matter where you go and what you study. What matters most is what you share with yourself and the world. Yes, we have got the right person. We are more blessed to have you for this event. Now, I hand over the virtual session to our keynote speaker. The session is yours, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, Dr. Deepa Lakshmi. Can you hear everything? Is it without any
Yes,
problems?
sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. So first of all, I'm very humbled and honored to be a part of this session. And so many of
Sir,
you.
sorry to interrupt. We have also participants in the live stream, YouTube live stream, sir.
Oh,
Thank
okay.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Yes.
So I see the participant count is some 197 or something. So
209 plus
209.
50
Okay.
plus, yeah, and around 100 in YouTube also, sir. Thank you.
100 in YouTube.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is really incredible because you have sacrificed your Saturday morning to be a part of this session, and I'm very happy about it. And it's a great responsibility for me to give maximum what I could do. And I truly appreciate the introduction by Dr. Kumuda and Professor Sarvani and Dr. Harita. Oh, somebody muted me actually.
Sir, time is 12 a.m., 12:30 a.m. today. Now, at Florida, it's
Yeah.
12:30 a.m. Yeah. Okay. Yes.
Yeah. Actually, my somebody is muting me. Yes. Okay. Okay. Can you hear me well?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you so much. And as Dr. Kumula said, like anybody who touches a phone needs to be aware of cyber hygiene. And Dr. Harita Devi said very well about how COVID has changed our lives, and I like how the kids, 1 year, 2 year old kids cannot live without phone or iPad. So cyber hygiene is a topic which is not everybody knows something, but I'm just trying to help to put that in a perspective. And I'm also looking forward to learn more. Before the session, I opened up a Padlet, a platform where you can upload your questions, and there were incredible experiences being shared, and a few of them my family members have gone through. Like Dr. Hajar Devi said about the scam of banking scam. One of my aunts, she was a teacher and she lost 50,000 rupees. She was a pension holder. She lost 50,000 rupees. So yes, a lot of things are there. So this session, I don't want to like bore you with the PowerPoint, but I have PowerPoint, but it's gonna be informal session. It's gonna be a learning session for you and me as well. My research isn't because of my family members. Thanks to my family members, I got more interested in doing cyber hygiene and research, because how can I secure my family members? How can I secure my friends? That's the motivation for me to enter into the cybersecurity field by itself. Before 10 years, I was like anybody else, posting everything on Facebook and posting everything on any other platform. But today, I'm in an opportunity to critically think. That's all we are looking for. I'm sharing my screen. If you have any, if there are any if it's not shared properly, please kindly let me know. Is it being shared?
Yes, sir. It's shared, sir.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you, ma'am. 1 second. I have switched on the captions also, just in case if anybody has problems with the speakers or internet. So it's not be 100% perfect, but it can help. So cyber hygiene, what is 1 second. Yeah. Dr. Professor Savani ma'am gave an amazing introduction about me. I wouldn't have she gave a good introduction. So this is me. I teach software engineering and cybersecurity, and this is my LinkedIn. This is my education. I work in University of Miami, Florida. It's a very similar place like Chennai, hot and humid and wonderful beaches. So we'll talk a bit about what is cyber hygiene, and I've given 45 minutes to share what I have, and then Q&A, open Q&A. So intro to cyberspace and cybersecurity. And then I try to put up like a kind of a model for us to be seen, because there are so many things. There is Facebook, there is internet. So I came up with a small understanding, an acronym to see how we can be secure, and some final comments, wrap up questions, anything for you. What is cyber hygiene? Cyber hygiene is practicing habits that ensure safety of information in our digital life. Again, it's not a niche area. Oh, cybersecurity means it's not like, oh, it's only for computer science professionals. It is for everybody and anybody who touches their phone. It could be for your parents, it could be for your brothers, sisters, friends, family members, colleagues, and even kids, right? So what we need to know, how we can protect us, right? There is a term called bystander effect. What does a bystander effect means? So we say that if somebody is hurt on the road, right? Somebody met with an accident, there will be a lot of people coming together and looking around. Oh, poor person, this person met with an accident, but nobody will step in to help, right? Everybody will think, oh, the other person will help, the other person will help. So this is a nice picture I wanted to show, because if somebody is hurt, people are ready to take pictures of them rather than going helping them. So in respect to cyber hygiene, we have the same mentality. If somebody got scammed, people don't tell others. Or people don't educate others. And this is the recipe for everybody, the scammers, to keep continuing doing things. There is also a season in Netflix called Jamtara. It is in Hindi, where they talk about how the scams going on, like with this OTP scam or banking scams. So if you get a chance, you can watch that too. So this was the Padlet introduction. I was pre-session. I asked, like, do you have any family members or acquaintances who experienced cyberbullying, cyber hacking, or fraud? It's not only fraud. We experience a lot of trauma if somebody puts bad about us on Facebook. Somebody gets scammed on Facebook. Somebody stolen our ID, right? But all we need to think is, did we do our due diligence, right? Before saying that the hackers took it, did we keep the good password, right? So all those things we need to look at it, and that's where we are going to have this discussion. Our digital universe is growing every single minute. The world is having this is 700 crore is the world's population, right? So right now 4.5 billion, that is 7 and 4 point 450 crore people are using internet. So that's a huge number of people, and it is growing. Today, uh, like the cars have computers inside them, right? So the cars, any modern car you see now, not the Ambassador or the March 800, the new cars, any modern cars have electronic control units. They can control your speed. Those are all computers, right? So we are getting dependent on computer so much. Every device we create is a computer by itself. So now we need to be sure, like, how can we be safe when using these devices, right? This is one, I usually show this link. I will show. So this is a map. Can you see the screen?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We can see.
The website you can see, right?
Yes. Threatmap.fortico. Yeah.
Thank you. So this is real cyber. This is a company which tracks the cyber attacks. If you see, it looks like a video game, but it is not, unfortunately. This is so much of attacks are going around in the world. This is usually for companies, but you cannot sleep in this digital world, and then in the digital space doesn't have any borders, right? We cannot say that, okay, I am in Tamil Nadu and the law enforcement is protecting me. No, in online, you are on your own. You're in an open ocean. Anybody can affect you, and any country or any state, it doesn't matter, right? We are in that type of situation. So this is our cyberspace, because everything is connected. We use Google Maps. If you want to go to some place, when we are hungry, we are locked up in COVID, we call Zomato, and we call Uber XL or Ola cabs, everything, right? Everything is driven by digital space. Our information is kept everywhere. The minute we get an Aadhaar card, our information, our biometrics, our fingerprints, everything is out there. And Aadhaar database was hacked multiple times, right? We all think that, okay, the government should keep it secure. Of course, the government should keep it secure, but unfortunately, there is weaknesses everywhere, and that's where the cyber criminals come and steal our information. If somebody has your Aadhaar card or Aadhaar information, right, they can open a bank account, they can apply for a loan, and there is some due diligence happening, but still they can do anything. They can steal your identity, right, which is really scary thing. So again, we in the introduction, we talked about physical hygiene for our physical well-being. COVID has taught us that even though we are safe, we don't get out of our home. But if your brother or sister or anybody in your household goes out and come back, they can get COVID virus and they can spread it to you, right? Cyber hygiene is exactly the same way. Even though you keep everything right, and maybe your family member clicked on a wrong link, right? If they downloaded a wrong app, once they are in your network, they can easily get it. So that is the problem with our current digital space, our digital system. We are so interconnected, and we deal everything on phone. We want everything instant, right? Cyber hygiene is for our well-being. Um, I can show you. I'll show you a quick video, or I'll just take the time also. Yep. I can show. I'll share this PowerPoint presentation, and wait, I will see if I can click on this video. Can you hear the sound of this video?
No. No, sir.
Okay, 1 second. I need to enable that WebEx. Hello?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, okay. Stop sharing.
The coronavirus. The coronavirus pandemic has highlighted the importance of technology, but it has also exposed a number of cyber vulnerabilities, say Professors Laura DeNardis and Jennifer Daskal of American University. Let's start with censorship. Local censorship can have global ramifications. Had the doctor in Wuhan, China, who spotted the outbreak been able to speak freely, public health authorities might have been able to do more to contain it early. China is not alone. Much of the world lives in countries that impose controls on what can and cannot be said about their governments online. Disinformation online. Social media can be an effective tool for sharing accurate information, but it's also a source of disinformation and manipulation. For example, Facebook has banned ads selling face masks or false preventions and cures, while giving the World Health Organization unlimited ad space. COVID-19 warns us of the cost and the politics of disinformation, and it highlights the roles and responsibilities of the private sector in confronting these. Cybersecurity. Thousands of other businesses and institutions have adopted work from home policies during this pandemic, a great benefit of technology. At the same time, that shift is a reminder that businesses need strong encryption, reliable networks, and effective cyber defenses. Cyber insecurity is also a threat to public health. For example, ransomware attacks can disrupt entire medical facilities. The Internet of Things. Internet-enabled smart blood pressure monitors and other medical devices make it easier for people to manage their health at home. But those benefits disappear when digitally connected devices are attacked. Think back to 2016, when the Mirai botnet targeted webcams and brought down parts of the internet on the East Coast. The tech supply chain. The shutdown of Chinese factories because of the pandemic interrupted the supply of critical parts to many industries, including the US tech sector. It shows that even if the virus had never traveled outside China, it would have had global ramifications. As the next phase of the pandemic response unfolds, society will be grappling with more and more difficult questions about the internet and how it relates to personal freedom and public health.
So this video is an example of how COVID has changed our lives forever, and how we need to be more aware of our cyberspace and how we interact with cyberspace. This is one model, how do we understand cyberspace and risks in cyberspace? So this cyberspace is nothing but all the computers, all the systems we interact with, all the gaming devices, even our TV. If you have Netflix on it, that's a small computer by itself, right? So this all these building blocks of cyberspace, the TV you use, the mobile phone we use, the computers we use, everything is the building blocks of cyberspace, and we are the users of cyberspace, right? And we are normal users, but there are some malicious users out there. Malicious means people with bad intentions. We call them hackers, criminals, and sometimes government spies as well. They are malicious users. Their intent is malicious. So they try to take advantage of the vulnerabilities and they pose a threat. And that's why we have to be that's how the risks are created in cyberspace. And we have to be very aware of what is going wrong and how can we protect ourselves. Um, there are 4 attacks usually. One is interception. Somebody is trying to steal our data. So this is, for example, as I told before, like somebody called my aunt and asked them some information, right? It is their personal information, but the unauthorized person has gained to that information and they stole the money. The other one is interruption. An asset of system is lost or unavailable. For example, you are going to a government office or you are going to any important
Excuse me,
place.
sir, once again.
Yeah.
What do you mean by asset here, sir? I don't understand. Asset.
Asset could be any information. It could be your personal information, or it could be your health records, or it could be your financial information. It's not only a physical asset. Anything that is your property. Your information is your property. Gained access to an asset means like it's you own this information and somebody is trying to steal that information. That's the asset. And yeah, and sorry, you had some. Interruption is an asset of a system is asset of a system becomes lost or unavailable or unusable. You're going to a doctor and you want to get some medication, right? You are sick, you're not well. The doctor want to check your records, right? Hey, what information? Okay, I'm having some headache, but you might have some precondition. For example, you might be diabetic or you might have some heart condition. If that information is not available to the doctor, they cannot give you a proper proper medication, right? So that is interruption, right? So cyber attacks can stop accessing it. So like assume you are going to driver's license, they cannot have access to the system. So that is interruption. The third is modification, right? If an unauthorized party not only accesses or tampers with an asset, but tampers with an asset, that threat is modification. So somebody is sending you a message, right? Hey, can you transfer me 5,000 rupees to my account, right? But if an unauthorized person adds one more zero, correct? And that is a problem. Or they can say to instead of your account number 1234, can you transfer it to 1235? That is modification. And the fourth attack is called fabrication. Fabrication is just creating new bogus information, right? That's how fake news spreads. I'm going to show you some examples of how fake news spreads. So that is the fourth one called fabrication. So we need to understand what really happened. Somebody stole my information, or somebody is stopping me from accessing the information, or somebody modified the information, right? Somebody is changing the messaging actually, or somebody is creating a fake message. So these are the broad categories. When anybody looks at a cyber attack, right? So hey, I lost my money. What happened? They stopped access to my account. Somebody changed my password. So that is how it is. We are extremely dependent on digital life. We need to have the keys. We have the power to control our digital life. I will show you this link at the end of the session. We will talk about personal cyber hygiene. Uh, this is the model called WITS. What is WITS? It's just an acronym for web, information, devices, and social media. So in our life, in our cyberspace, I put it as a Venn diagram because they are not separate. They are kind of interrelated to each other. Web is all the internet activities we do. maybe paying bills or watching Netflix. All the information, all the internet activities is called a web. And information is what information we give away and what information we receive. That is the information. And the third one is devices. And then the fourth one is very important one, social media. So when I want to protect my cyber hygiene, I want to be safe, right? But where should I start? I'm dealing with things every day, but where should I start? So for that, I created this as a like a guideline. Okay, web, information, devices, and social media, right? Um, Cyber champion, the main purpose of this, we are trying to educate, right? Everybody is trying to educate others. I want everybody to become a cyber champion, which means you share this with your family members, you share this with your colleagues, right? If some of your friend is sending you a fake news forward, you just let them know, hey, please do not forward it to others. Do not forward links to me, right? You can let them know, right? So that at least they will be aware of it, right? We are very in India, in Indian culture, right? We are very respectful. I was also I never used to tell my mom that, hey, mom, don't forward me this message. It is a fake message, right? But it is our duty now to become a cyber champion, right? We need to make people aware of these things, educate ourselves in under circle, both professional and personal. So we will see one by one. What is web, information, and devices and social media? I start with web. What is wrong with this link? Can anybody say? Let me see who can say. Is this link as a problem? Can somebody say what is a problem with this link? You can unmute yourself. No HTTPS. Okay, I will put HTTPS. Okay, no. Okay, I will add this HTTPS and W. Apart from that, assuming you have that. Yes, Tamil Selvi and somebody, the font A is different. You guys are very good. So if you see here, the A this is the actual A, but you have this alpha. This is the Greek letter alpha, right? So if somebody sends you an Instagram account or something with this bogus link, right? Um, if especially even in a desktop computer, it's very hard to see this. But think of when you are browsing, when you are on the phone, if somebody sends it on WhatsApp, it's high likely that we will be clicking the link without even checking. Oh, it's Instagram.com verification, right? Our mind is our mind works that way, right? We know it's Instagram.com, so it could be safe, right? So that is the slip the attackers trying to exploit. They don't want us to think twice. That's the whole purpose of attacks, right? So again, web, when it comes to web, careful when navigating the links. Looks for HTTPS websites. HTTP communications are unencrypted, which means if the Google Chrome or Mozilla browser says, hey, this doesn't have HTTP, think twice before even going to that website. Okay. Um, it's okay if you don't go to that website as well, right? Do not use Wi-Fi hotspots for internet browsing. Oh, I have only 1 GB data. I want to, excuse me, more data. If it is a college Wi-Fi, you need to have a password or something, you can use it. But if you're going to a coffee shop and you're using, I would suggest don't use it. And if at all your worst case, you have to use it, use for any generic websites. Do not use for logging into your banking account like ICICI, HDFC. I don't want to do internet browsing on Wi-Fi hotspots. There is a huge risk and many people have lost the data. I've unfortunately, because of using Wi-Fi hotspots and downloading apps to extract Wi-Fi hotspots. We need to understand that nothing is free in the world, and everything, if they are giving it for free, maybe we need to think twice as why they are giving it for free, right? To search for a website, navigate via search engine. You can go to Google. I don't know what is the website of Dr. Tamil Nadu Ambedkar Law University. So I can just go to Google and search. The Google is high likely to give me the right link than me going and typing tndalu.in or ac.in. I don't know how it will sound. Or in US, the universities end with .edu, but in India, it's ends with .ac.in. right? So those are the mistakes we can avoid, and we can go to the right link. Be careful with cookies. In the United States, in the United States and Europe, every website should say that they are tracking using cookies, and the users have an option to say, I don't want to be tracked with cookies. But in India, it is not a government rule. Um, so I'm not all the websites have this cookie warning, right? So if you're not sure about this website, you can try to use a private browsing, and then you can close it, so that once you close the window, the cookies are also deleted. So be careful with that. Do not click links unknown sites on your phone, even though it comes from your parents or your known person. If you have a slightest doubt, just don't click on it, right? In the Padlet, somebody were asking, how do we know whether the link is a correct link or not? There are many websites who can let us know. You can just paste the URL into Google search, it will tell. Or there is a website called a safeweb.noton.com. I don't know whether I have it open here. Um, Norton is a it's a company where you can type it here and check whether it is um, a good website or not. Again, there are these tools which can help us to an extent. There is no tool which can help keep us 100% safe, right? But at least it's like, again, COVID. We try to do 100% safe. We are very secure, but still we may get it. But at least the probability of us getting attacked is much lesser, or losing our information. Stay smart. Again, there is nothing free in this world. Strong passwords for sensitive websites. The next is information, right? So when we think about information, information we are giving out, right? It could be on Facebook, or it could be on any other websites. Think twice before even giving this information. If you get an email saying that, hey, we are doing a lottery, the first prize is maybe a car or a Maruti car, whatever car it is, just think why they are giving us a car, right? What is the benefit for them to give us a car? They are stealing the information. You can go to dark internet and you can buy information about people for, like, if you give 500 rupees, I will get 10,000 email accounts. It's available in the internet. There are multiple sites called this site called Pastebin. You can just Google, and then you can check out for Pastebin Yahoo IDs. So, and along with the password, you will get so much of IDs and passwords. I don't know who is this. It's just out in the public, right? It might have your ID as well. So when you are giving your ID, be careful what you are doing it and why we are doing it. We need to understand what type of information I'm giving away. Am I just giving my name, or am I giving more information than that? Why this website is asking my Aadhaar number or a PAN card number? Why this website, does it really need to give my phone number, right? What if I can just use it without my phone number? We need to understand what all type of information we give out. Once we have that awareness, we will be careful. Okay, this website I want to buy something, right? Buy a toy on this website, and this website, why it is asking my PAN card or credit card number or anything, right? Um, Avoid using debit cards. If you have a debit card, I understand in India people tend to use debit cards because they don't want to accumulate credit card debt. Um, try to check with your bank if they can give you like a credit card with a fraud protection or something like that. Because with the debit card, once you lose the money, it takes forever to get back the money. So understand what instruments you are using. It's a lot of work, but again, we don't want you to. Sorry.
Can we use Google Pay, sir? Is that safe enough?
Google Pay is
Um,
safer. Google Pay is safer, and they check the terms and conditions, because most of this company, Google and all the UPIs, they have liability and fraud protection, but sometimes even that the scammers are very smart enough to hack that. So don't give in debit card numbers, credit card numbers anywhere. It's think that it is the only secret you have and you guard it with life. Limit sharing your information online. Once it is uploaded to the internet, there is no way of removing it. Even though you delete it on the internet, somebody is storing something. I'll tell you a small story. Like I went to Google headquarters for a small conference. So they were taking pictures. They were taking pictures of us attending the conference. And then Google asked me in Google, the employees, it was like some game or something. They were asking, can you guess where this your photo is stored? We took a picture, we stored it on Google, where it is stored. I was in California at that time, and then I said maybe in the California data center. That's where it's closer, right? They said no. Google stores it in 5 copies. One in South Korea data center, one in Ireland data center, one in somewhere in India or I guess India data center. So they store multiple copies of information because they want to have backups and something goes wrong. So once you upload anything to internet, you cannot delete it at all. The companies say it show you that it's deleted, but they have stored it somewhere, right? Careful in sharing personal pictures or credentials, right? Which means don't send a debit card number on the internet to somebody or password pin number to somebody, right? If you are in emergency, um, when you want to give the pin number, call that person and then maybe you can say that. Again, that's not advisable, right? In person you can say, if like maybe you are not able to go to withdraw money, you want to send your son or daughter, your brother, just make sure you are giving it to them, right? Many of you have asked on the Padlet that whether can you know whether if somebody is recording you or not. um, there are very sophisticated apps through which we cannot say whether somebody is recording. Unfortunately, that is the situation we are in. We can never say if somebody is recording us or not. So when you are giving away information, when you're talking about somebody, um, be very prudent, be diplomatic, don't give away too much information, right? Use multiple email accounts. I recommend at least 4 email accounts. This I have mentioned 5. Work or school email, which is like wherever you're working or if you're attending a college, that email only for assignments or only for interacting with professors or only for interacting with colleagues. Personal email is only for family. Nobody should know ever your personal email, right? Not for social media at all. And email for transactions, which means Amazon, Flipkart, Zomato, Uber Eats, those transactions, and email for ads, promotions, and social media, right? I because that's how we can separate ourselves, right? If you use one email for everything, hey, this is my email for everything, contact me. If that email gets hacked, all your information gets hacked. So it's hard to maintain 4 email IDs, but it is strongly recommended, right? This is how you protect and you separate your information, right? A lot of you are asking questions and comments. Just give me few minutes. I will once I'm done with my session, I will answer all the questions and comments. Okay, now again a question for you all. Out of these 4 passwords, which is if somebody is asking you which is the best password to keep for my account, right? These are the 4 password I have. Which one you would suggest is a good password? Third one, number 3, number 2.
Yes,
Third one. Okay.
it's third one.
Okay. Unfortunately, third one is not the correct answer. It's not a safe password. There's nothing like right or wrong. It is not a good password to keep. So why? Because our first one is a dictionary word. Dictionary word means any dictionary word. Anybody wants to hack your password, they can hack it. That's a dictionary word. The second one is a secure password, but it is hard to remember. So if we have a password which is hard to remember, what do? We start writing it, right? We put a small chit under the keyboard, keep it like, okay, tomorrow if I forget, I just take it and refer to it. That is, then it beats the purpose of having a password, right? We need to know, and only we need to know, right? That is a hard to remember password, even though it's a secure password. The third is a frequently used password. Even though instead of S, we changed with a dollar symbol, and instead of O, we changed with a zero as a numerical character, right? It is a frequently used password, and millions of people use this password. Like everybody uses because, oh, it's a password, I want to remember easily, password. So a lot of times when I do this presentation, people ask, so there are at least 15 websites which have sensitive information of us, right? One could be our work website, one could be our Netflix account, one could be our Amazon website. There are minimum 15 websites we need to remember. How do we do it? So it is hard, but I would say for essential websites, your personal ID website or your work ID website, you remember your password. The fourth one, why I said is it's like a phrase. So it is a big enough password, but with a slight modification, right? Coffee is well roasted. It's like the coffee beans are well roasted. It's just a random sentence. I don't have any affection towards the sentence, but I have small modifications. I started with an ampersand sign and then ended with an ampersand sign. I know that instead of EE, I use 33. So a phrase is easy to remember. It can be any phrase very personal to you. It could be like law is the best degree law is the best degree, but you can, that's a big word, but in between you can remember which word you are changing and you can still have it, right? So always, instead of a password, thinking of a password, think of a passphrase, and you make some slight modifications, which is hard for the hackers to guess it, right? There are many websites. There's Kaspersky website where you can check what is the strength of your password, right? With the latest computing, you can hack a password very easily. Always think of a passphrase, number one. Number two, if they say password remembering questions, which is like, what is your mother's name, which city you were born, you don't need to be honest and give the exact answer. For example, if you say which city you were born, instead of giving Chennai, if you're born in Chennai, you can think of any other city, maybe New York, right? Which is only known to you, right? They are not checking your legitimate truth, whether you are true to yourself or not. It's just a reminder for you. So that whenever any website I say a password reminder question, my city, I will say always give New York, for example, right? Even though that's not the real truth, right? So that
Sir,
anybody, yeah, yes, ma'am.
sir, I'm told that Facebook or email address and all password is just for us to think there is a safety, but anybody can enter our Facebook or Insta or email without our password being known also. Is that so, sir? In that case, password is of no use at all. No, that's why I'm asking. In fact, even our system, people can enter without having the password, I'm told.
Very good question, ma'am. So if we have enabled that type of like remember my password option, anybody can, if they have access. So for example, if you are using your computer, every time you don't want to give my password, we usually put remember my password. So what happens is the browser saves that password in our cookie. So if a system people have access to our system, they can do a remote login and they do it. When they open a browser, they can easily get into it. A very good question. So unfortunately, we should refrain accessing our Facebook or personal pages using the work computer. And if at all, if our work demands it, we can have two different IDs. That's where it comes. Where your personal family related thing, you can keep it separate, and work related thing can keep it separate. Facebook is very, I would say, it's against user privacy. What Facebook does is just stealing our information. And even though they have a lot of practices, it's just, if you are putting anything on Facebook, it is being stored and shared everywhere. I'm going to show you a couple of examples also how Facebook collects our data as well. Very good question. Thank you for bringing it up. Um, I told about email accounts. Use strong storage media. If you find any USB somebody is giving for free, just don't take it. Or when you don't plug it in any computer, especially don't take it to your lab and plug it in, because it might have viruses, right? Buy it from a legitimate shops. Don't buy it from anybody who is giving away for free. Unique phrases with special characters and numbers. There is a funny video here you can watch. In respect of time, I'm not playing this video. It just shows how people reveal their passwords by asking few questions. They're very welcome. It's very easy to get their passwords. Um, again, this is another, the video, this is the same video link. Um, for your personal banking passwords and all, just 4 or 5 passwords you must need to memorize, and it stays with you, and it dies with you. That's how it is. You don't need to write it anywhere, store it anywhere, because if that gets lost, you are done. That's how it is. And in many websites now, they are giving multi-factor authentication. That's where you get an SMS message. Hey, you're signing in. This is the secret code you need to type in. If you have not enabled it, please enable it, even for your Google account or Facebook account. Ma'am, you asked a very good question about anybody can log in into Facebook. Facebook allows multi-factor authentication. So if somebody is signing in from your account, if you can enable it, not from your work computer, because work computer, Facebook assumes that it's you are the one logging in. But if you are from somebody's logging in from a different account, different location, you please enable this. And even for banks, even when 1 rupee transaction is happening, you need to get a message. Okay, because we don't want to be crying after the money is lost. Unfortunately, we don't want to be the victims. We want to be protecting ourselves, right? Thumb rule: think of your information as valuable as diamonds, because it's personal to you and anybody can impersonate you. Share only with others on a needed basis. Do not expose others' information without permission, right? So usually the excitement, people are excited, right? When I used to work in my previous company, it always happens that when friends say that take leave from, they ask me, can I have a holiday? What happened? Oh, I'm not feeling well. But if in their Facebook page, they will be having fun somewhere. Somebody else would have tagged them on their Facebook, right? So many times it happens. Do not expose others' information without their permission. Don't say, if you're pasting some cute baby's picture of your relative, right? Ask them, hey, can I post your kid's picture on internet? Right? I want to post it on Facebook. Can I share it on Facebook? Right? Ask permission, right? Because their information is going onto internet and it's going to stay there forever. And it hurts them. It might hurt them in a long run. Information we receive, this is very important, because this is a fake news forward. Russia unleashed lions to control. This is actually a fake news. It's going very viral in the internet, WhatsApp. This is another one. They are quoting this Nobel laureate vaccine scientist, saying that if you use COVID vaccine, you are going to die in 2 years or something. He was totally misquoted. It is completely a fake news. It was busted by PIB. He never said that. He just said that virus will become more immune, but he never said that people will die. So think of these ramifications, right? People, when somebody doesn't believe, somebody believes this and they're not taking their COVID vaccine, and if something happens to them, sometimes it can cost their lives as well. Fake and illegitimate news, social media sharing, and news from untrusted sources, right? Try to always Google and see whether it's the real news or not. COVID has exposed our enthusiasm to share things, right? Because when say, okay, drink pepper, your COVID will go away. Drink garlic, it will go away. Or take garlic juice, or drink this juice, that juice. Yes, they will improve your immunity, but also when there is a vaccine, you need to take vaccination, right? So it is hard, but we need to check, we need to have the legitimacy. If somebody is sending you a news, tell them, hey, this is a WhatsApp, this is a fake news, right? There were a lot of news. I given the link also, how WhatsApp rumors are spreading, and people get killed because of this fake news. The next one is devices. Things that around us record information about us. Smartphones, they're not just phones, they are little computers, mini computers. Wearables, if you have an Apple Watch, or you can have Fitbit or anything, all our desktop, laptop computers, smart TV, right? We have a Mi TV coming, and we have all the smart TVs which can play Netflix and all these things. Smart appliances, you can control your AC from your phone, and all the cars, all the modern cars have computers in them, right? This is a very funny cartoon I used to like the TV is now watching us. The TV knows exactly what we are doing, which shows we like. It records all the information, right? And as our phone is not a phone, it's a mini computer. Does everything our information. If I get access to your phone, I can literally affect you big time by stealing your information, by do anything I can, right? Um, Again, apps always wants permissions to whether I want to have access to your phone, I want to have access to your contacts. Think twice before allowing them to access. If not, go back to this apps and notifications, permissions, remove them, right? Why Facebook needs access to my microphone, right? Why Facebook wants to access my contacts from the phone? No, I don't want to share my contacts. If you can avoid installing Facebook, yes, yes, ma'am. Sure.
Some apps and all, unless we allow that, microphone or whatever, we are not able to proceed and install that app. So in such a case.
Very good question, ma'am. So when you're doing something like that, make sure that now Google comes at the setting use only this time, or use only one time or something like that. You can use that as an option, ma'am. For example, apps like WhatsApp and all, they need a microphone access because people call and all. So you should be aware of why you gave that access. Is it really needed? If it is not needed for you, you can get it done from the web browser. You can just do it. I never installed Facebook on my phone at all. I'm just paranoid about installing Facebook on my phone. Whenever I want to go to Facebook, I just go through my computer or I go through a web browser, right? So it is our phone, it is our asset, and we should have the control over it. Who we are letting in, and it's like our home. Who we are letting in and what permissions we give them. Whether they have to stay in the entrance only, or whether they can come to our bedroom and steal our information, privacy, right? Very good question you asked. And if not needed, we can just make it like only this time, or that options are available now because of privacy awareness. Google has enabled that in many phones, Android phones. This is again another link I've shared with you all. I will share as part of this session how, even though if it is Apple's App Store, what type of scams going on and how things can go wrong. Even though it's a certified, they say certified, why we have to be very careful, and how installing without thinking twice or using twice, it can be detrimental, can steal our information, right? Um, I always tell this to my students as well. Phone is just a device, not a trusted friend to share secrets. No embarrassing pictures or videos on phone, right? Backups of phone, no public Wi-Fi. We discussed about this. And we shared about the Instagram link. I showed you guys an example. I showed you everybody an example. When it is a small screen, we have less visibility, and we tend to click on those links, and we tend to share it with 1,000 other people because we get excited. Other useful thing is we can have like every once in a while to do an upkeeping, like how we clean our home every, you know, like a garden or something. We can clean up. Why this app I need? Why I'm having this app? Why should I install this game if I'm not even using it, right? So we can have that as a good option. If one person in the home gets compromised or clicking on a bad link and downloading some weird app which is not a legitimate one, the entire home, um, they can access everybody in our network. Wi-Fi, this is also overlooked because we use default passwords or admin as a password. There was a study saying that everybody uses admin as a password because I think nobody knows it, because most of the Wi-Fi routers password is admin. Out of 10, 4 are admin. So when we change, we should always change our password. And again, we know how to keep a new password. So this is also a very good way to very important thing to remember. When we get a new device, we need to always change the password. Is it not keep admin or admin password or something like this. Many of us at this point of time, we are aware that we should do this, but it's just that not 100% we are aware that we are doing this. That's a big thing. Learn to say to no to privilege requests that don't make sense. That just now we discussed, right? Why Facebook needs our microphone access if we are not really using that for calling somebody, right? So those are an examples why this game wants this thing. Explain Google Authenticator. I'm coming back to the questions. I just need like 5 to 10 minutes and then we can discuss your answers, questions. If you connect, you must protect, right? Whether it's computer, smartphone, or any gaming devices. I'm not reading the entire slide. The essence is this: it is our device, our information, and it's our network. We need to protect that, right? If we are putting it out there, it's not really it's available on the internet. It means that you can never erase it. It's saving, securing somewhere. The last is social media. So these are the links. Facebook collects our information even though you don't have a Facebook account. That is the real truth, right? So you can click on this link and see how much information Google has on you, and you can turn it off as well. So any website you visit, they share their information with Facebook. It doesn't matter you go through Facebook or not. For example, if you are going to I'm not sure about the government websites. If you are going to Zomato website or you are going or ordering something on Uber Eats, that information is shared with Facebook. So even you don't have a Facebook account, I'm happy. No, Facebook knows about you, what you frequently use, all those things, and Google knows about you. What is the most likely you are supposed to click? If you're watching all cooking shows, you get to see all cooking shows. You are watching video games, you get to see video games. So these 3 links, you can click on it and see how much information, and you can turn it off as well. Stay alert, stay aware. I want to show you a quick video. This will not take too much time. Are you everyone able to see the video?
Yes, sir.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you for confirmation. Parable is a small story, but
You've probably heard that you need to be careful about what you post online. Well,
I will enable captions so that if it is very fast. It's very fast, so.
you've probably heard that you need to be careful about what you post online. Well, here's a story that'll explain why. Once upon a time, a nice fellow named Tim uploaded a picture of himself to his favorite social network. It wasn't a bad picture, maybe a little goofy, but innocent enough. Little did Tim know that this photo would be his downfall. When Tim uploaded his photo to the internet, it was stored in a few places. One of these was the server of Tim's favorite social network, which allowed all his friends to see it. Another was a government server that picked up lots of information from the internet in case it could be useful down the line. And the third was the server of an identity theft crime ring. Back on the social network, a few of Tim's friends gave their approval to his picture, but most ignored it. Meanwhile, the social network made his data available to an advertising firm. They noticed the frisbee in Tim's photo and started sending him frisbee ads, hoping that he'd buy more frisbees. Unfortunately, he would not be able to because of what happened next. You see, the identity theft crime ring liked Tim's photo much more than his friends did. That's because it showed his house in the background. One of the pieces of data in the image file was the exact location where the photo was taken, allowing them to figure out Tim's address. Now, this crime ring had already collected some other information about Tim that he had unwittingly posted online, including his phone number and social security number. So they called Tim's bank, pretended to be him, and tricked the bank into resetting his password using all of the information they had. Needless to say, they transferred all of Tim's money into their own pockets. They also gained access to his email accounts and sent his friends malware that stole their bank account information. This was bad for Tim's social life. To console himself over the loss of his friends, Tim took a vacation halfway across the world, and by strange coincidence chose the very same country that had intercepted his photo. Unfortunately for poor Tim, the nifty design on his shorts was also the flag of a rebel army trying to overthrow that country's government, and he was identified as a possible threat. So he was pulled aside at security and denied entry. Tim's story is pretty much a worst-case scenario, and is almost certainly not what's going to happen the next time you post a picture online. But each of these things does happen to people on a daily basis, except for maybe the rebel army bit. Information that you post publicly can be stored by anyone who finds it, and your private communications might be intercepted and read by advertisers, news outlets, governments, and criminals alike. In fact, over 10 million Americans have their identities stolen each year. So try to be careful about what information you post online. Keep all of your software up to date, and make secure passwords that are different for each site you visit. These problems will probably never go away unless we invent a completely secure way of communicating and sharing with each other online. Sorry, Tim.
This is a funny video I showed to my class students also, like how something we do unknowingly, right? And how people can intercept most of the information just by one picture on Facebook or just by one tagging your friend, right? Everybody can see about that friend's information and what they have been doing, all these things. This is a video link. A few more things on social media. The last part is cyberbullying. What we comment about somebody again makes a huge impact. Whether you can look at this person as, oh, you are awesome, or sometime you can give a bad comment, right? This is actually cyberbullying. There are laws out there, even in India and many nations. If somebody is doing cyberbullying or cyber harassment, right? The law controls it, but not everybody seeks law enforcement's attention for cyberbullying cases. People are really depressed when somebody bullies them. This is also happening. Most of the gaming websites, there are sexual predators trying to get information or asking the kids to, like approach them in a illegitimate way. Limiting social media decreases loneliness, and this is a research study. Many times it happens that when staying long time on social media is, we feel like we feel good about it, but for our mental well-being, it's not the right approach, right? A quick recap: we don't trust anyone that we do not know. Just we don't need to increase our friends count on Facebook or LinkedIn or anyone, right? We need to know who is this person connecting me, who is this person is asking me a friend request, do I know them, who are the mutual friends, right? It's the numbers doesn't matter, right? The because any post you make, it's available to those 1,000 people, and those 1,000 people's 1,000 other friends can see them, right? Check out for phishing emails. When some email is too good to be true, it's probably might be a phishing thing. Text messages, I showed you about the Instagram link example, and connection requests aren't suspicious. Online posts, if it looks suspicious, report it to your IT team, especially in an organization, right? IT team can filter it out so that others don't need to click it. A quick recap is web, information, devices, and social media. Four things, four different aspects of it. To keep it to be sane enough, like why am I doing it? There are many movies on Netflix. There are like this movie called Social Dilemma. It's a very good movie. If you have access to it, you can watch on Netflix. And many websites. There are Tamil movies also, which talks about cybersecurity and how when you give your phones for servicing, how these people take information from them. Many movies are there. Try to educate your family members, your friends, and everybody. Right, own your digital life, stay safe online, and educates. And this is like being a part of Cyber Champion, where we champion everybody to stay safe and secure. Now, I would open it up for questions. Thank you for listening to me. And
Thank you, sir. Can I read the question, sir?
yes, ma'am. Yes.
Yes,
I'll just stop
it's from.
sharing.
Okay, okay, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, it's from Arya S. Menon. Most of the credit card comes with Wi-Fi tapping for password. How safe is that?
Yes, that is safe than inserting, ma'am. Again, if you are not sure of doing it, you can make a cash transaction itself. But wherever you're tapping, if it's in a supermarket, it's most likely to be secure. Even nobody can give 100% guarantee, but it's most likely to be secure than inserting or swiping, because there are scammers for inserting and swiping cards. But with Wi-Fi, it's the NFC. It's called NFC, the Wi-Fi one. So it's secure. It's
Okay,
bit
sir.
better secure than the other ones. Yeah.
Next question from Lucky Sebastian. How can we deal with the issue of big data analytics in social media?
We cannot, unfortunately, because that's where their money from these companies are. The companies are not giving us a service. They are for for-profit companies, and all they wanted to do is do analytics on us, analytics on social media, what we are posting, so that they can advertise us better. So the only thing is kind of stay away or completely limit what information you're sharing online.
Next question from Megha. What is the view on the new information technology rules?
What is the specific rule they are talking about? Like, is
Maybe
it
how
about
far it
censorship?
supports, how far it is safe?
The rules are there to safeguard us, even though it's a new information technology rules and the privacy rules. But again, when people are not really reporting, and it is a tedious process. It is a tedious process to go behind these rules and ask for remedy. So it's the first recommendation is, let's not get into the trouble let's safeguard ourselves. Even though the rules protect us, but we have to safeguard ourselves.
What is the current value of, yes, ma'am, you can ask, ma'am.
Sir, the pictures which have already been posted in Facebook or in the future, can we prevent them from storing it, sir? Because we delete it, but it comes back after 2 years like that. I've posted in Padlet also.
Yes, ma'am.
Is there any
I saw
possibility?
your question. No, we cannot. Unfortunately, we cannot. You can make it. We can make it access to only us using the lock symbol. We can remove it, but Facebook will have access to it. And if any of your circle members have stored it, like they can download it, and we cannot do anything. Many of my circle friends have also got victimized because of these pictures, especially during job interviews. Some employers check their Facebook accounts or something. When these people were enjoying on beach or not wearing shirts or something like that, and they get a bad image or reputation.
Sir, only one more question. I've posted
Sure,
in
ma'am.
Padlet also.
Sure,
Like the passwords of my bank or even the email accounts and all, if I keep it in my iPhone in the notepad, how safe is that, sir? How can I secure it? Because I cannot remember all the passwords. So where do I keep?
Very good question, ma'am. Very good question. For some sites, it's okay to keep it in that way, like the browser one. But if it is your bank account, or if there should be like 4 or 5 which are very essential ones, I would suggest not to store anywhere except in our minds. That's the only way. So that's the reason we went for this technique of having passphrase than a password, because it's easy to remember a passphrase and as a sentence than just having one word, and the probability of getting hacked is very high, ma'am. That's the reason.
Thank you,
Yeah.
sir.
No, welcome, ma'am. Thank you. Good
Next
questions.
question from Shivanarul. What is the current value of Bitcoin, sir?
It fluctuates a lot. There is a website called Coinbase, and you can check it there. It fluctuates a lot. It was $60,000 sometime before, and Coinbase.com or Binance.com, there they can check what is the current rate and what is the trend and stuff. It's again, people say it is a real asset, and people are very skeptical about it too. So yeah.
Next question from Mohammed Samiullah. Can we use incognito mode and encryption methods?
Incognito mode helps. Yes, encryption methods, HTTPS sites, incognito modes helps because once you close the browser, Google claims that they remove the cookies. Yes, it's better than the regular safe browsing mode because you don't have the cookies don't get stored, but you need to make sure what websites you are looking into, and it's not 100% proof.
Okay, sir.
Yeah.
Next question from again Lucky Sebastian. To what extent end-to-end encryption is secured?
Good question. End-to-end encryption is secured as long as your phone is not compromised by malware or any other thing, because WhatsApp claims that even WhatsApp cannot be accessed by anybody, even including the WhatsApp's employees, right? So end-to-end secure, end-to-end encryption, WhatsApp implements it, but if your phone is having somebody has a spyware on your phone, before even you type it to WhatsApp, there are apps which can gather that information. So
Next
we need to keep
question.
housekeeping of phone. Yeah.
Okay, sir. Next question from Prasanna. What is the purpose of cookies in website?
Cookies are good question. Cookies are just to store our some basic information about us in the web browser, in the browser's location. A good example will be we are reading a newspaper, for example, Times of India, and I am from Chennai, so I want to read it in Tamil version, right? So first time I set up my language as Tamil, and then next time I go to Times of India, it will automatically load in Tamil, so that that information is stored in the cookies. When I remove the cookies, when I clear all the cookies, next time it will load in the default language, which is English, right? So cookies were meant for such user friendliness, but right now the problem is wherever websites we are using or whatever we are doing, they get stored in these cookies, and that is also being shared with these advertising companies like Facebook and Google, all those things. That's why we have to be careful with cookies and settings.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
So
Next question.
one question.
Yes, yes, ma'am.
Sure, ma'am.
So between WhatsApp, Telegram, and Signal, what would you suggest is better or in the line? WhatsApp, Signal, and Telegram.
Good question, ma'am. I personally suggest Signal, and Telegram is also being used by a lot of people, but so Telegram and WhatsApp is, they are coming up with policies of sharing the group chats or business chats with Facebook. So if you're very concerned about that way privacy, because it's run by a for-profit organization, Facebook, whereas Telegram and the other one, Signal, is not. They say that we are going to keep it that way. So that's why a lot of people are adopting that Telegram.
Thank you, sir. Signal it is then.
Yeah, Signal it is. Yes.
Next question is from our TNDLV faculty, sir, Dr. P. Brinda, ma'am. Nowadays,
Sure.
bank is sending smart statements through mail. What is the reliability of safety?
That is much more reliable than the paper statements, ma'am, because we have these password protected files. So again, nothing can be 100% secure, but at least this is much better than what we get on the paper mail statements where nobody can have access to it. So you have it on your email. And as I mentioned to you, like the which email we are using, that has to be secure. If we are using that same email ID for social media and then the email ID gets hacked, then it's of no use. That's the reason.
Thank you, sir. Next question from our BCLLB student. Is there any course for studying cybersecurity? If so, please guide me.
There are good question. There are so many aspects of cybersecurity, I would say. So it depends on what type of cybersecurity is like a very broad area. We can either I can study about hacking and like the core technology parts, or I can be in auditing and assessments, or I can be in cybersecurity education. It's a very broad topic. There are certifications like CISSP. These are like international recognized certifications. CISSP.
Okay, sir. I think, sir,
Yeah.
this question you have already answered. It's asked by
Sure.
Rajshekharan, sir. Facebook, after taking over WhatsApp, it's now entering into our phones, even though we don't have Facebook installed. So how do we react in that case? I think you already
Yes.
answered to this question.
Yeah, we cannot do anything.
Yes, we cannot.
As long once we signed up, we signed up for it. They are trying to show that they are not misusing your information, because again, it is a well-reputed organization. But again, at the end of the day, that's a for-profit company, and they benefit based on what we click or what we click like. So unfortunately, that's the answer.
And can you explain about Google Authenticator and Duo Authentication app? This is asked by Nyanavel.
Yeah, Google Authenticator and Duo Authentication app. It depends. You can use them. They are for they are tools of multi-factor authentication. So yes, we can use them. Many organizations use them.
Okay.
Ultimately, what they use this for, what all the target, why they target all electronic, why developed countries concentrate more on AI, many are in implementation. Like, so many developed countries focus on AI because there are multiple reasons. One is for business and to improve customer services, to do that. And then other thing is, many places, many businesses, the manpower, like the employing people is expensive. So if they use AI, they can give the same service like as employing a human being. Then instead of sending to like automated chat, if AI could speak like a human being, I get in the United States, I get calls as if the AI speaks to me, but it sounds so legitimate that a human being is speaking to me. So that's where they are trying to put all AI, and also for tracking and security purposes, they use AI for, because this huge amount of data, and it's impossible for only human beings to collate and get some intelligence out of it.
Okay, sir. And another question asked from Farid Nisha, why they target all electronic user, why developed countries concentrate more on artificial intelligence? Many are in implementation like robots in Japan. Is it
So
significant for us
that's the
from
same
aliens or
question.
other danger? Any idea regarding UFO?
I don't have honestly regarding UFOs, because it's again, people say yes and no. So yeah, and I don't have a specific answer to give for that question.
Okay, sir.
Yeah,
And
it's
another
unexplored
from
yet.
Renault, sir, I believe zero network security zone is more secure. Your advice on this, please.
Uh, what they
Zero network security zone is more secure.
It's like zero trust is a very zero trust is means like you don't trust anybody, anywhere, any system. You always vet that system. Again, it's added one more layer of security. But again, if there is an insider who makes a mistake, for example, if Dr. Ambedkar University has an IT team, they have this policy called network security zone. But by mistake, if an employee gets that phone inside, or a bad USB device, it's still compromised. Then the whole zero network security is compromised. It's safer compared to no security, but again, it's not foolproof.
Another question from, yes, sir.
No, because you were silent. Sir, can you suggest any security apps in our iPhone, like that we can install?
There are many Sophos. There are many apps where we can use for antivirus apps. Sophos is there. McAfee. I want to be like endorsing any specific
Give it to
app.
Deepalakshmi sir later on so that we can test out one by one.
Sure,
Because it's a long list. I can't write it down now.
I
Thank you, sir.
understand. I understand. Thank you.
Okay. Next question is from Sai Shravan Kumar. Why can't India opt out for all US related services and bring Indian services like China?
Big good question. Again, a lot of political reasons are also involved in it, because we service a lot of organizations in the United States as well, and then in this global economy, not one country is separate. They are dependent on each other. People are showing examples of China, but China has a lot of censorship, and so ours is a democratic country. Like, we have speech of freedom and we can express whatever we want. So that don't align political reasons, that don't align with one another.
Thank you, sir. And next question from Shanta Vishalakshi ma'am from Ethraj College, Center for Cyber Forensics and Information Security, offering a PG program for cyber security passionate candidates. Any, I think she's asking any Center for Cyber Forensics and Information Security, which offers PG programs. Yes.
Oh, I guess she said mentioning it for the students, I guess.
Okay, sir. And next is from Martina ma'am. If we use GPS, they get all our bank details. So is there more risk of our getting into the information leaked?
RTGS, which is safe. Okay, RTGS, again, if you are sure that you are using the right bank link, and that is the thing, hopefully you don't have any virus or malware on your browser, it is safe. And we can put a SMS notification or limit. So usually when you make a transfer or something, they always come up with a link or number saying that if you haven't initiated the transfer, call us and let us know. So that's the only way we could know that if somebody has abused our accounts.
Sir, and just a few more questions.
Sure, ma'am.
From Mega, is the new information technology rules going to take away our digital rights?
I don't need to say that. It's again how we are interpreting it. Like, hopefully nobody abuses it. It's the same way, right? The aim is not to take away the digital rights, but our government uses is totally dependent on the government, how they want to enforce it. Yeah.
Okay, sir. Now, HOD of Criminal Law, Dr. S. Rajalakshmi, she needs to ask a question. Ma'am,
Sure,
can you please unmute and ask, ma'am? Raji, ma'am?
Hello, thank you, Deepa.
Thank you, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Sir, it was a really wonderful awareness session. My question is, what is the role of cybersecurity in all these apps? Sir, you were actually, from your very beginning of your session, you were actually trying to give us awareness. Actually, I felt it's an awareness, how we have to be in the social network site. But other than this awareness or self-disciplined, what other thing is the social security doing with, sir?
So cybersecurity is a very broad topic, ma'am. Thank you for raising this question. It's it's a good opportunity for me to explain that cybersecurity is not only awareness is one section that is for personal cyber hygiene, but cybersecurity talks about what new emerging threats are coming, and how there are dedicated cybersecurity teams working all around the clock, protecting your emails in Google or whatever from the hackers. Somebody asked in Padlet that what if I upload something on iCloud? So Apple has a separate cybersecurity team who works around the clock to make sure the data servers are not hacked by hackers, right? It could be any hackers from any country. I showed you a Fortinet hacking link in the beginning of the session. These are hackers continuously working to get the data or interrupt the services. So cybersecurity is a broader area where people from various disciplines work together to stop and to protect the data and information.
Thank you, sir. And as a few more questions, sir. From Aishwarya Balasubramanian, is there any possibility of controlling the front camera in the smartphones by hackers?
Very good question. Use a small tape. I have it on my computer. Use a small tape and stick it. That's the only way we can make sure that nobody can see. People think that if you disable the from the operating system, it might not work. Hackers have easy ways. Even though that small light is not glowing, your camera can still be recording. So usually in shops they sell a piece of plastic with a gum, or I use a sellotape or the PVC tape. I stick it on to the. I just removed it for this session.
Next question by Prasanna. Sir, can phone hear us even when we don't use it or switched off?
Sorry, ma'am, I didn't understand.
Can phones hear us even, that is, he tries to ask whether the phone is active even when we switch off it.
Absolutely, yes. Absolutely, yes. Switching off. Switching off is very less probability. Switching off, they cannot. But if it's on sleep mode or something, yes, they are. Switching off, yeah, if it's very highly unlikely, but somebody hacked it or something. But 99 point, like majority of the phones, regular phones, if it's not hacked, they cannot.
Okay, sir. Next question from Muthukumar. Wi-Fi cards don't ask for PIN numbers for transactions up to a specific amount. In such cases, is that safe to have a Wi-Fi card?
It is just for user convenience, and you can enable it if you want to have it from your bank, and having an alert sent to your mobile phone that can help us, because the banks do this for purposes that, okay, if it's a small money, they can reimburse back. If it's 100 rupees or 200 rupees, they can reimburse back. So that's the reason banks, it's a lot of it's an expense for banks to have this PIN implementation and all this for even a small amount. There'll be a huge number of transactions. That's why bank limit this, because it's the wastage is very less for them. But if you want to protect yourself, enable the two-factor authentication, SMS alerts.
So one question, not
Sure,
exactly cybersecurity.
Sure,
In
ma'am.
iPhone, is there an app which will detect if there are hidden cameras in any place that we go to? Hidden cameras, no, sir. Nowadays they're keeping in light and all that. So is there an app which will detect an iPhone if we go somewhere to a restaurant and they have a hidden camera or trial room? Is there anything, sir? It's not cyber.
Good.
I
I
would like to
understand,
know.
ma'am. I understand. It's unfortunately we don't have. There are some apps claiming that, but nobody tested how legit they are, and it's usually our responsibility to do that. So how we do is, like, I don't use those rooms. I just here at least the return policies are better. So I get it home, and if it's not fitting, I just go back and return it. Unfortunately, I don't know how. Yeah, it's not very friendly back home. I know. Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
Next question from Parichay Gautam. Sir, has the data of Indian public become more vulnerable after the Aadhaar card drive, especially after during the public to get their Aadhaar cards to buy Jio SIM cards few years back?
Good observation. It's not only yeah, because our information has been digitized, and there has been public hacks at for other databases. So yes, I can say that yes, there have been hacks, and try to limit the information you give outside, especially Aadhaar card, because that's one important information. Yes.
One more question from Vasant. Sir, which system are you using? Which one will you recommend to be safe and protective so that we can also use it?
Um, the funny answer I would give, a system which is completely switched off, disconnected, and buried under the soil. There is
Sir, I saw
nothing.
you using Firefox. Is Firefox better than Safari and Chrome? I saw you using Firefox. Is that better than Chrome and Safari?
Chrome, the objective of Chrome is using an engine that's objective is to track and provide you customized ads, because it's created by Google that way. So I prefer using Firefox for that reason. Safari also runs on a different engine, so it's better. Again, as for the answer for the previous question, nothing is 100% safe. But yeah, Chrome tracks our information because they want to give us better search results and how our persona is. Google has way more of data about us than we can ever think of. There's another movie on Netflix called The Great Hack, and they say that how much information these things are being collected. Yes.
Okay, so next question from Gautam. What is the involvement of the government in stealing data, considering the recent tiff between the government and social media platforms? Ravi Shankar Prasad recently stated that right to privacy is not absolute.
So that's exactly how it is. If the government wants to track us, we can never stop it. It doesn't matter whether which government it is, because they have all the tools and technologies and the expertise to do that. And even though their intention for creating that thing is for national security, but if somebody is being targeted, nothing can be done.
Next question from our senior most professor of TNDLU, Redivari Revati ma'am. We used to give our account numbers with PAN numbers to other universities for honorarium for ECS mode of payment. How safe it is? If not, what's the remedy?
Even your good question, ma'am. When you're sending that information,
IQAC coordinator, sir. Redivari Revati ma'am, IQAC coordinator for Tamil Nadu Dr. Ambedkar Law University. Yes.
Oh, hello, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you so much for this question, because when you are sending that information, we need to be aware of what mode we are sending and whom we are sending. If there are 15 people copied in that email, we need to be aware, why should I send for these 15 people, or is it only to the cashier or the concerned person or concerned authority? And if they can avoid using the PAN card, if unless for taxation purposes, if we can avoid using it, it's much better. But again, this is again our self-critical thinking and awareness, how we are going to do about it.
Next question from Mohammed.
second,
What would you? Yes, ma'am.
So when we go to donation websites and all real donation website, there also they are asking for PAN card. So is it safe? Like you said, PAN card we shouldn't reveal, but in the real donation websites also they are asking for PAN card. They are saying it is for 80G or C something. There is no option not to give the PAN card. So
This is for, so some people evade tax by in the form of donations, and that is the reason government mandates them. It's again dependent on our judgment as whether we should give or not. There have been a lot of hacks based on PAN card data. There's been a database revealed where stolen PAN card, and here we use something called social security number. So they are available easily online if because of these reasons only. So we will try maximum not to avoid and question that why we should give. Yep.
Okay, sir.
Something
Next question
else.
from Srinidhi. A NEFT transfer or GPay or RTGS, which is safe for transaction?
Good question. As long as it is done on a legitimate site, all three are safer, and we should have a backup plan. If something goes wrong, we need to have the email ID or the phone number where we can go back and ask them. So we need to double sure, triple sure before even making the transaction, because once the money is gone, money is gone. So that will be my advice. Before making a transaction, make sure you are doing it on the right website, you're doing it for the right vendor, and then if something goes wrong, you have an option to come back and report or complain.
Next question, sir. Is data scientist and data analyst the same?
They are both a part of data analytics, but they both have very different roles. It depends on organization to organization. Analyst could be analyzing data for business purposes. Scientists could be creating models and AI models or machine learning models or data analytical models for studying data.
Next question from our faculty, Dr. Varalakshmi. Sir, can you suggest some cyber hygiene practices for remote working and learning?
Very first one I tell everybody is don't use public Wi-Fi. That's the basic thing, because if that is exploited, they can get to know about your remote working activities. And again, not sharing your passwords and updating your computer. And if you are having an office computer, if your company gave you a computer, don't use it for personal purposes like Facebook or downloading something or visiting some websites. You have your own mobile phone or your personal device to do those things. So those are my top three, I would say, for these practices.
Next question from Renault. Which encryption methodology is best with VPN? VPN or DMVPN?
It depends on what VPN they use. There are some free VPNs. They can still use it, but if you are not about 100% sure, you can pay some money and download a better VPN. What type of data you are using, that again defines it. If I'm just using to download movies, maybe you can use a free VPN itself. But if I'm using very sensitive information, then I need to pay for it. Yeah.
Take much more questions due to the time thing, and more of the questions are repeated. I think you have answered many questions, sir. Thank you very much. And I think the participants will be very happy because almost all the questions are being answered. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. I think almost it is 2 o'clock, sir.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yes.
Yeah, it's 1:50. Yeah, it's
150.
up to you.
Okay, okay, sir. The next thing. So your topic is very interactive, and we all had a very good idea of knowing that the data is not a data, it's our personal information, and we should be very careful in how to use the data and how to protect our passwords, as you told, because we are using more and more of websites. We are tend to use a less interactive, less strength of password. So that should be avoided, and the password should be given of more interest, and it should be more protective for us. And your orientation program, I think it is a very good awareness for everyone, sir. It's time to thank, to show our appreciation and convey our gratitude. It's my pleasure to welcome. Yes, ma'am.
Only one question. Sir, I forgot about YouTube. How safe is YouTube, sir? Many people are using, though I don't use it that much.
YouTube is safe, ma'am, but very good question. YouTube is safe. When we are clicking, we need to make sure, so there are fake YouTube accounts also. So just make sure you're on the YouTube site. And other thing is, do not click like or subscribe, because that's where the influencers get, unless it's your really your subject matter site. Don't do like or subscribe, because the thing is, again, it's used for advertisements and tracking purposes, but also you don't want it to spam. You want to hear as educated people, we all want to hear unbiased view. But all these websites do is, the minute you that thinks that they kind of profile you, that okay, you like only South Indian food, and you just send South Indian cooking videos or something, which we don't want to do. Right. So unless if it's really your site or something like that, don't click subscribe and like or comments. That's the thing. It's again. Yeah. No.
So I've read only questions, sir. There are more appreciations from almost all the participants, and they are very happy. I think the time will not be enough, because even if we extend for 2 more hours, there are more questions, because it's a need for the hour. Yes, thank you very much, sir. It's time to thank, to show our appreciation and convey our gratitude. It's my pleasure to welcome our Head of the Department, Interdisciplinary Studies, convener of the program, Dr. S.K. Ramani, Associate Professor, Head of the Department, School of Excellence in Law, to deliver the vote of thanks. Over to you, madam.
Thanks. It's really a wonderful session. I just start with a formal vote of thanks. With the blessing of the Almighty and with immense pleasure and greeting, I deliver the vote of thanks for this orientation program organized by the Department of Interdisciplinary Studies on the topic Cyber Hygiene, staying safe in our digital life. At the outset, with heartfelt thanks to Honorable Vice Chancellor, Professor Dr. N.S. Santosh Kumar Sir, for his encouragement and support in organizing virtual programs during this lockdown period, and made us academically and mentally active besides the prevailing pandemic. Thank you, sir. We will continue our academic activities with the same spirit as per your expectations and directions. The chief guest of today's orientation program, Mr. Lokesh S. Ramamoorthi, who delivered the keynote address from University of Miami, Florida. Sir, we are really grateful for graciously accepting our invitation in a topic, namely cyber hygiene, which is the need of the hour. So the topic discussed today has not only given an insight, but it is an eye-opener for most of us through your lecture. And I hope the topic discussed will be beneficial to all the participants in the era of technology and pandemic scenario, as our academic activities cannot function without the electronic gadgets, and in future, as we are to proceed towards blended learning. I thank you, sir, for sharing your knowledge, which is not only useful for the current generation, but also to proceed in the future with confidence. And I have to mention here that sir has spent his valuable midnight from nearly 1 o'clock, and it's now going to be around 2 o'clock. Okay, this is something great from your side, sir, being very actively delivering and answering to all the questions through this interactive session in a very pleasant and pleasing manner. Thank you, sir, on all the behalf of the university.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, everybody, for the opportunity.
Thank you. Sir.
My only advice for everybody is like, as whatever we learned during the session, try to expand it, share it with your network. I don't really mind to I can teach it, talk about this for hours and hours. That's what I do for 6 months, 8 months. Well, I can do it for this, but try to explain it to your family members. When you are forwarding, when you are doing something, just think twice. And I want everybody to stay safe and not to be victimized by cyber attacks. Thank you so much for the opportunity, and I'm very happy that you
Thank you,
liked
sir.
the
Surely
session.
we'll keep up to your words, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
As our registrar and UG course director, Dr. Balaji sir, was not able to make his presence due to his official engagement, but sir's immense and unfaltering support with a smiling face has always been a driving force to proceed ahead for conduct of various programs. Thank you, sir, for all the support rendered from your side. I'm very much grateful and thankful to Dr. Haritha Devi, Director of Research and Publication, who's always with a very sportive spirit and spontaneously, without any hesitation, accepted to deliver the inaugural address, though it was last-minute acceptance and address the participants. Thank you, Dr. Haritha, for delivering the inaugural speech and your support. My thanks and gratitude to our Senior Professor of Interdisciplinary Department, Professor Dr. Sharvani, for facilitating the orientation program. Madam has always been a source of motivation and inspiration for all the activities within and outside the department. Thank you, Madam, for all your moral support and guidance. I render my profound and sincere thanks to the Director of PG Courses, Dr. Kumaratna, for welcoming the dignitaries and the participants of this virtual program very gracefully. Apart from thanking, I express that Madam was too curious not only to listening to this lecture, but very particular in raising few questions. As all of us know, she is a very gadget-friendly person. Hope this webinar could have benefited you in person. Thank you a lot for all the support rendered.
Yes, Ramani, thank you very much. Thank you, sir, Mr. Lokesh.
Thank you, ma'am. Your work and support to our department activities are tremendous. I thank you from the bottom of my heart for rendering your invariable support. Thank you, participants.
Thank you for giving me this opportunity, Deepa.
Thank you, ma'am. It's our pleasure, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. I thank all the professors who have attended, my students, faculties from various colleges, HODs, and I thank from the bottom of my heart the speaker of today's session. Thank you, sir. I think we will be having more interdisciplinary studies. We'll be having more fruitful sessions ahead. Jai Hind. Thank you.
Kumita, I have not yet completed, Deepa.
Okay, ma'am. Sorry, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
What happened? You became into.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, fine. I get you. Oh, I express my thanks to the Controller of Examination, Dr. Srinivasan, and Librarian, Dr. Ashok, and all the head of the various PG departments and my fellow colleagues, principals and faculties participated from various government law colleges. Thank you all to make it happen. My words of thanks to the Dean, Bharat Institute of Higher Education, Dr. Chalaya, civil judge, and to all the advocates and members of the various institutions. My words of appreciation and thanks to the webinar coordinators, Dr. Rajlakshmi, Head of the Department of Criminology, Dr. Vidya, Department of Interdisciplinary Studies, who without any delay coordinated for the approval of the webinar and conduct of the same. Thank you, Dr. Rajlakshmi. I should not fail to mention the person who was the root cause for this orientation program to happen, the organizing secretary of this, Dr. Deepa Lakshmi, Department of Interdisciplinary Studies. All the credentials go to Dr. Deepa, who always with a very pleasant words travel along to organize the webinar from its beginning to the end. Wishes Deepa go ahead with the same spirit. A special thanks to the student coordinator, Mr. Chandan, third year BCA, who traveled together supporting the organizing team of the webinar. I render my thanks to the technical support team members and to all the administrators of the university in webcasting the special lecture. My deep sense of appreciation and thanks to all the registered participants from various institutions who choose to be in line with us to attend the webinar and made the session very live and interactive through their valuable questions. I once again thank all the participants in various capacities from the bottom of my heart to make this webinar happen. Thank you all. Thank you. Thank you all the participants. Hope it was a very interactive and a very useful session, and hope those with the very basic knowledge of whatever we have, and though he has given us a lot of insights how to proceed it in future. I think we have to go for any training courses or learning of the same. Then only, like people like I'm not technically that much advanced or not as such, to put it in very simple words. We have to gain this knowledge through this lecture, and we will proceed it in future course. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank
Mr.
you, ma'am.
Lokesh. Thank you, Deepa. Thank you.
Thank you, Sharwani ma'am. Thank you,
for a good
Kumuda ma'am. Thank you, Ramani ma'am. Thank you, Alashu
Okay,
ma'am.
thank you.
Bye. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, sir.
Ramani.
Lokesh sir. Thank